Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Let me see if volume's coming out good. Ooh, all right, we're good. So I had a wild hair today. This is going to be a live tutorial. I'm going to be taking it and then trimming it for the actual video tutorial as well. So the wild hair that I got was I was wanting to play around more with doing a little bit more lives as much as I possibly could, but then I saw a picture of that new iPhone Pocket thing, and I know a few people have been trying to figure out how to do it in the crochet community. So I sat there and I thought about it and I was like, I can do that. So that's what we're going to do. So hi everybody coming in. I am dual format streaming. So there is the regular horizontal and then there is a vertical one. So this is done with will be done with cotton yarn. I already have it all pulled up and ready to go. So, but we got to get some measurements first. I need to readjust my camera because it looks off. So give me 1 second. And there we go. I thought I had it just adjusted already, but I guess not. Come here. Come on. Good. So you're going to take your iPhone. The first things you're going to need, well, let me start over because I'll edit this out. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a measuring tape. You're going to need a form of a double-ended crochet hook because we're going to do this in the round. You're going to need, of course, scissors and a darning needle. I do not have measurements on this because I am literally going to make this up as we go. Okay. So, what you're going to do first is you're going to measure your iPhone or your phone. You can do this with any phone, it doesn't have to be just at the iPhone. So, you'll just measure your phone. I have the iPhone 14 something something. So, you just measure and we're at 13. So, you're going to make it at least a little bit more. I'm at 3 inches. I'm sorry. You're going to make it just a little bit more, probably 3 1/4. And you just take your yarn. Come on. I have to keep it pinned. And we're going to do a chain. So we'll just chain. Leave yourself a decent tail because we're going to use this tail to close in our tube, so to speak. And I'm sorry I can't see comments. It's a little hard. So hi, thank you everybody for coming here. Um, I'm going to start out with a chain of 4 right now. 1, 2, 3, and 4 because I'm going to do something. I'm going to pull this out just a little bit. I'm going to take my chain, turn it inside out, and I'm going to insert my hook into the very first chain, and I'm going to continue chaining my chains. This is going to help with or in the round. This helps you make sure you stay round and that you're facing all the same way so you don't have to wrestle with it. I can move. No, I need my phone. So it is a little bit of a slower process for me to do this because I feel awkward. So it's going to be a little bit of a slower process. And my chain's probably going to look like poop. And I will be like I said, I will be taking this video as soon as it goes live, I'll take the video and edit it into a regular, um, tutorial as well. I needed something to keep my mind busy and off pain, and I thought, "Well, a live tutorial will work." So you can see how that's gonna be a nice little snug fit. That's what you want. I could probably go do away with 1 or 2 yeah, 2 chains, and I just messed everything up I just did. We're starting over because Michael didn't like what he just did 'cause he just yeah. So, professionally, that's why there's editing, right? So just go ahead and do your chain for with your measurement is you need to double it for your iPhone or your phone because it needs to be able to fall over on top of each other. Since we're making a sleeve, so to speak, and every phone is different, the dimensions for the different iPhones are different. So just this is gonna be just a generalization of how you can do it and make it look like that new little iPhone Pocket that costs $280. Just a few more, 'cause that's a little bit of a tight squeeze there. I messed up that chain, so pull it out, go. That'll be good. So now what we're gonna do, since we did it this way, is what I an easy way for me to always make sure I have the back bumps where they need to be is I go ahead and I just flip it over anyway. Just flip it over, and then I just take it and I go on top of each other. Oh my gosh. I lay it flat and then put the bumps facing up, and then I just rotate it because then I know it's gonna be on top of each other and they're gonna be all the right way. There is another way that I did the initial way to do a in the round chain. I messed that up, so I have to go this way. And then you're just gonna take your hook and insert it into the last chain, plus this is a little awkward for me right now, and you're just gonna do a slip stitch. You're joining the 2, tighten down, and we can switch out our hooks to our in the round and get move your phone out of the way or whatever. Now we're just gonna pull up our back bumps, and again, they're all through here. You need to make sure you get the first back bump. And my hands hurt. And welcome in everybody. This is my first ever live tutorial, and I'm royally screwing it up. Uh, but you'll just take and go into you can go into the chain if you want to. I like to go into the back bumps because it gives an easier um, surface when you're going to stitch it together. So you'll just go ahead and pull up all your back bumps. It's so hard for me to see with this camera in my way. Feels weird. And then here in a minute, we'll start doing it for the return pass. But I need to pull. I needed to pull this away because my arms are starting to hurt while I pull up the back bumps. How's everybody's week gone so far? Just a little awkward. I'm gonna have to find a better position to do this next time I do a live tutorial. But yeah, yeah, Amber, he got up probably 30, 40 minutes after I finally was able to go to bed to get some sleep because it was just I don't know. I'm fighting. I'm trying to stay ahead of it, a major flare up, and I'm just trying to like do things out of my norm that I can uh, get relief with that will keep me. What's what I'm looking for? Occupied. I always hate doing the back. This is the part that a lot of people don't like is the pulling up the back bumps because it is the slower process, and I don't like it, but it's a necessary part of Tunisian crochet, so we have to do it. One of those pillows, oh, yeah. Well, I don't mind I'm always at my desk. Um, and it's so far, like, Amber, like I said, I'm making this up as I go, because I just saw the photo, "Oh, that would be easy if I did it this way and this way, this way." And it is so hard for me to do this right now, I don't know why. I hadn't really crocheted much today too. I mean, I'm always crocheting, I really haven't done much today. That and it's cotton yarn, I don't really care for cotton, but, um, this is some splitty cotton. Okay, now we need to get all these loops off. One thing I do like to do is where you did your join of the 2, I always like to put a stitch marker because that tells me that that's the begin and end of the round. It's just, tracker. So now to add our return pass, which is gonna be the exact same color. I have 2 cones of these, and you do not need a long tail for this if you don't want one, but you're just gonna add it how you normally would add your yarn. I need to scoot up. Got things in my way. I need to scoot up. I need to move my headphones. I'm gonna knock them off. What the heck am I caught on? Oh, my heating blanket. Okay, there we go. Oh, yes. So you'll add your return pass yarn the way you do. However you wanna do it, you can add it several different ways, and then you're gonna just chain 1, and then from here, what you're gonna move this. Then you're just gonna yarn over and pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2 till you have just 3 loops left on your hook. You do not wanna go past that or you risk your entire work falling off. Then we'll just slide it back to the other side and continue with our forward pass. Just keep pulling up your loops. And this is going to be a simple stitch project. It'd be worked up in the simple stitch. Yeah, and there's a yeah, exactly whatever I'm trying to say, Amber. It should be a quick workup. Right now, like for me, it's I've got all these lights in my eyes, and this camera is at a little bit weird of an angle for me right now, and it's hard for me to see stitches. If any of that makes sense. Well, it's always hard to do the bump, not hard, but always this to me, this is the always the slowest part. After this, it's gonna fly because we got after we get our foundation row done, then we gotta take one more measurement because we need to know how high we need to go because we are going to mimic that iPhone pocket. And then off camera later tonight after I get done with this live, I'm gonna make one more that's because they have 2 lengths or 2 sizes. They have one that's 31 and or well, 32 inches, and then one that is 16 inches. We're gonna make the 16 one tonight. Can't see what I'm doing. All these lights blaring in my eyeballs. Don't ask me how I normally do it because I wouldn't be able to tell you. They're normally not this low either. StreamYard kinda washes out what I'm trying to see 9 times out of 10, and so I have to, um or it makes it too dark, I should say. Like last night's live, the way the lights were positioned, I didn't have them positioned right, and it was washing out or making everything really freaking dark, and I couldn't see nothing, when I rewatched the replay, and, they're just blinding me. And I really had no idea how I was gonna set up for this because, like I said, I've never done this before, a live tutorial like this. Trying to see where it came out of. My eyeballs don't wanna work. There we go. Working it up, working it up. There we go. Finally, my eyes will somewhat work. Let me go ahead and do the return pass. Thank you all for coming. Like I said, this was literally a last minute decision to say, "Hey, I want to go ahead and try this." Um, yeah. So now that we're at our end of our round, from here, it's going to be easy. Because what we're going to be doing now is doing simple stitches all the way around. So you'll take the side, because this is where we joined. I put the stitch marker in the wrong spot. And that tail is going to drive me nuts. You're going to pull up a simple stitch into that bar of that very first stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. and then you're gonna do that all the way around. Just continue a simple stitch all the way around until we reach. I left a big pause there because I am gonna be using this video as well, um, this live to make the tutorial, and the pause was because we don't know how, um no, it is 6 inches, that's what I thought. How many, rows we'll be doing. Hey, Stevan, or Steve's go hey, Britt. So you'll need to do it by your phone specifications, and of course, if you don't have an iPhone, it's not gonna be 6 inches, it could be 8 inches. So you'll just continue just making your round all the way until you reach your 8-inch mark, and then do half an inch, and then we'll gonna come back, and I'm gonna show you how to do the split. I said that not for you guys, but for, the video tutorial. That way, it'll be on there, and I don't have to voice over. But yeah, it's gonna be hopefully, this is a quicker and easier, faster to make. And since these are on cones, I have the cones drop down on the floor behind my desk and feeding up, and 'cause it would be hard to work with a cone sitting up here because 'cause you're not gonna be able to get the yarn off of it in time, all that stuff. MDL active art. Yeah, it's Gina, it's pretty much that's what we're making is the sleeve that iPhone came out with, the iPhone what are they calling it? iPhone Pocket, but we're making it that's gonna be it's a tailorable, um what is going on? Am I caught on something? Give me one sec. Oh, there, now you're not gonna it was the cone was pushed up against my a metal bar in my desk down there that I normally put my feet on to rest, and it wasn't allowing the yarn to come off. Now I gotta make sure and it's like, I have to keep looking up at the StreamYard to make sure I've got, um there we go, my hands in the camera for both versions of this live stream, and that was it, okay. Let me just go to this one, and then slidey slide, slide, and do the return pass. But I know there's some people that do that is getting on my nerves, that bumpity bump, bump, bump from my hooks. I need to put a little rag down. I know there's some people that do live tutorials all the time. I don't know how they do it. I really don't because this is a little awkward, and I like to doing the filmed ones, but I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to do something different for to keep my mind busy and off of my pine. This is about the season that all of us who suffer from chronic pain, it gets worse. And then I got literally like right here in front of my face is the camera that normally isn't there. Oh, I need to turn it this way. Sam has a question. Let me find my mouse. All right, where are we at? I'm looking for the question. Before you go too far, should you allow for phone thickness? Well, that's yes, that's why I said, um, measure your phone, Sam. You'll measure your phone, like mine is 3, right? I added a quarter of an inch. So then you're doing 6 like for me, it'd be 6 and a half. That chain is 6 and a half inches. It allows for just a little bit, but you want it to be snug. You know what I mean? So that way it's gonna be it'd be hard for it to be taken out of if it's not you. So that way it's not freehand, not freehand, but, pickpocketed, because the way that these I don't know if you've seen the picture of how they do them. Let me pull it up. That's not what I want. iPhone pocket. Let's go to images. We're gonna look at this picture. I'm gonna turn down my brightness so you can see it. Um, but you see I need to turn that up a little bit. You can see how it's here, and it's supposed to be a little snug. We're making the shorter version today, which hangs around the arm. In the video tutorial, I'll be doing the longer one version as well. So that way well, like I said, I was just sitting there. I saw the photo. I've heard people talking about them and how, and then I heard about how pricey they were. And I'm like, are you serious? I can make that. Sorry, my yarn was getting tangled from me twisting it all the wrong way. Um, and so I was looking at the dimensions before Panda got home from work, and I'm like, I can make that. I know I can. And I was gonna do it as a regular video tutorial, but then I was like, you know what? Last night's 2.5 hour live helped me keep my mind busy off my pain. Might as well just do it as a live. And hence why this was live was born. So I could pay attention to doing something else that I don't have to worry about my pain. I don't have to think about my pain. And cotton yarn, you could use t-shirt yarn. I have t-shirt yarn. I was thinking about doing it in t-shirt yarn, but I backed away from it because of I don't feel like messing with a double-ended 10 millimeter hook because it would be a 10 millimeter, and I'm not gonna mess with that. So, and all you do, and I'm adding allowance for whenever you do your height, like for my phone, it's 6 inches, but I'm gonna put it at 7 when and I'll get all that for the actual video tutorial, how many rounds it was for 7 inches. Um, but I don't have, a Galaxy or any of those others, so I have no idea. This is just to get you the idea of how you can do it. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do the split. That's a lot simpler than what it looks. Um, and it'll be I don't know, I think once this is done, it'll look really cool. Once I get the tutorial filmed and everything, I just wanted to do this with you guys. You can't go to bed. I'm messing with you, baby. Um, so yeah, he's been sleepy all day. And then I happened to make Chinese food for dinner, so that made him even more sleepier. Uh-oh. But yesterday, like I said, yesterday's live, I wanted to play with this whole dual format streaming, and because I normally go vertical anyway, that's just because the things that hold my devices only allow for me to go vertical. and I don't feel like, spending money to get something that I can rotate. And the only reason I can go horizontal here is because of the filming camera. Y'all are reading what through the camera that I normally would film through anyway, so I'm like, "Well, let me put my iPad up here," which is where you're seeing my face, and then, what was the other thing? Oh, and then I could make it small up there in the corner, have fun with it. But, yeah, you're just gonna continue doing your rounds until you reach the height of your phone, and then add an extra inch, and, of course, for Sam, I will put centimeters in there for her. No, I always do inches and centimeters. Normally, I have all that all written down for me at a time when I do my filming, and I chose to just do a simple stitch for this project, so that way it's less stretchy, because you could do a stretchy stitch if you really wanted to, um, and it would be a vertical stretch, so if you wanted to drag on the ground, go for it, you know? But I thought less stretchy would be better and snugger, so to speak. If any of that makes sense that I said? Yeah, uh, 6 inches is 15.24 centimeters. Awesome. Well, I know yeah, that's right, never mind. Never mind. I was thinking inches for the shorter iPhone pocket sleeve. Um, so I wanna let me go use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back, and then I wanna talk to you guys too while I'm working this up. I have some ideas that I wanna let you all be aware of coming up because Michael can't keep his mouth shut. I can't keep my mouth shut. Yeah, y'all are gonna know everything. And what I mean by that is my surprises and plans. I'm gonna go ahead and use the restroom real quick. Yes, Britt, there's actually 2 lives going at once. One is vertical and one is horizontal. And Carson, how you stop curling is the nature of Tunisian, it's gonna curl. But there are, I'm gonna star yours real quick. I will come back to not you, Britt, but, Carson, and I'll come back to that question because I really need to go use the restroom, so I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Let me take that off the screen. Hey, I gotta put my arms first. There we go. Let me scoot in. There's the binging towel. Okay, so Carson had a question. Let me go to it. Uh, Start. How do you keep Tunisian from curling? Well, you got to think about the nature of Tunisian, right? The nature of Tunisian is you're only working one side because you can see the back side. We don't flip our work. So with the nature of Tunisian, we're putting all of our stitches on one side, which puts all that tension on one side, which causes the curl. Now there you can go up a couple hook sizes. You normally if the yarn what the yarn specifies, you should be going up 2 hook sizes. So if the yarn says a 5, you should go up to a 7 for Tunisian crochet. Now, the more experience you get, the more you can just go, a little bit lower. However, um, working you should go 2 sizes. Now, if you're some stitches are going to curl massively. I don't know why I'm doing now. Some stitches are really going to curl. They are really big curlers. And to deal with the curl with your project, you can do there's a couple of stitches that are anti-curler stitches, which means they help fight against the curling aspect of Tunisian crochet. And those stitches are like the purl. The purl stitch is an anti-curler. So is the reverse stitch. It's an anti-curler. Or you can do what I do, what a lot of people do is just deal with it at the end by, if it's acrylic, you can and just dealing with it at the end and blocking it. Now with acrylic or man-made fabric or man-made material, you're going to steam it. You just get a handheld steamer, put it on your blocking mat, and steam it. With natural fibers, you can wet block it, which means just pin it in place and block it. Use a squirt bottle, or you can, run it under water or right out of the wash where it's wet, and then just pin it and let it dry. So that's how you deal with the curl. The curl is going to happen in Tunisian crochet. I'm not getting much of a curl within the round because in the round, you're not spreading out the curl, but you're making it curve so it fights the curl. Since you're making one continuous row on that's really technically what you're doing within the round, is you're technically doing one continuous row on top of each other and folding it back on top of each other, constantly coiling it. And that coiling aspect is what stops the curl from happening. So yeah, I need to scroll up to see if I missed anything. Yeah, Lori, I see your comment. I keep trying to it's to move my hands to make sure I'm above the chat in, um, for the vertical live stream. It's just this is still new to me on this part of working, doing a tutorial while I'm live because woo, I mean, y'all see me film it, that's different than doing it this way or editing. I just needed to do something today that was gonna keep my mind busy for a few hours. Um, I need to go let me give me one moment. I need to customization, subscriber, 5 minutes. I forgot my troll blocking. 'Cause I mean, you just never know, right? You never know. And where's the vertical one? There it is. And go to my troll blocking. There, there. Subscribe, save, not subscribe, cancel. Do what you need to do. Now I can go back and get out of there. There we go. Ha! I need to put that over on. There we go. Um, oh, geez. It's just a really awkward position for me to do all this right now. I've never my back. Um, that camera is, like, right in my eye. If I close my right eye, I can see the project good. Left eye or right eye, the camera is in my eyeball. But like, I can have my when I'm doing my actual filming and with my what's that stuff? My normal, um, software and everything, I can have my camera a lot higher and out of my view because I can zoom in, and it's hard to do with this here. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, Maureen. And hi, by the way. Oh, I have it I got an email, yesterday, believe it or not, last night before I went live, from StreamYard giving me 3-month access to their advanced plan for free. I don't know why that even happened. I didn't even notice it. It was about a week old email because it went to my spam in my, MDL Crochet, uh, email, and so I was like, "Why not give it a shot?" And then I saw that they had a dual streaming in it, and I was like, "Ooh," because you can dual stream if you have OBS and all those other stuff, they put it to where you could do it in there in YouTube's own studio thing, but it to me and I know Lori does it with, Streamlabs, and it was just a little bit more complicated to do it through the YouTube studio, part of it, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna play with that today or play with it ever," because it was really confusing, and I'm not I mean, I know software and I know all that stuff, but that was really confusing the bejeebers out of me, and I was like, "Yeah, no, no, I'll do that some other day." But I know this is gonna be a snug fit, very snug. That's what I wanted, a very snug fit, because then, you don't risk pickpockets. And we'll be sewing at the bottom anyway, with that's why we had the long tails, is you'll use those bottoms to sew up or use those tails to sew up your bottoms. That made no sense, but yeah, you'll use the tails to sew up the bottom. There we go. Here, I'm gonna show y'all ahead of time. I'm just gonna try to get as much done as I can before, you know, the live ends. 'Cause I wanna show you guys how we're gonna create that open pocketness where it splits, because it's actually a lot simpler than what it seems, uh, and I've done that technique a few times, not on a tutorial, but on a few other my, prototypes that I've worked up, so that way it'd be a lot easier to do, and then you'll come back and we'll join them. But on the actual video tutorial that'll come out, as soon as I get done with this, I'm gonna actually work on the video tutorial, and on the video tutorial, we will, have it well, completely finished, but I don't know what I was gonna say, but now I know what I wanted to talk about before, I went on the little 5-minute break. Um, and Lori, that is kinda weird. Hi, Mona. Hi, Coley. Uh, that is a little weird, Lori, because I haven't used StreamYard in ages. I think the last time I used Stream no, I haven't used StreamYard in ages. 'Cause I used to have StreamYard when I was streaming almost every week, and then they upped the price, and it was just like like, the basic plan used to be $24, now it's like 40 something dollars, and it just got ridiculous. But what I was gonna talk to you guys about, there's something I'm gonna be doing at the beginning of this year, or starting of this next year, and that is I y as y'all know, I'm all about keeping things cheap. We can take a a value yarn and make something pretty with it. You don't need to have $150, $200 Tunisian crochet hooks. You can do it with $30 hooks, and they do exist. This blue set, the silver sets that I have, they're all $30 sets. Now, there are a bunch of different sets out there. Past few days, I've been kinda saving them to my private on Amazon. I've been saving them to my private shopping list just so I can see, and there's quite a few. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up ordering them some at a time and doing reviews. And if I like them or if I don't like them, I'm gonna actually be doing projects with them, tutorials with them. You'll see 'em being used. And to me, that's the only way you're gonna know if a hook is good, excuse me, or not, because of, or that's the only a swatch, in my honest opinion, is not gonna tell you anything. You need to do a project or 2 with them, and I'm gonna do a project or 2 with them. I'm gonna use cotton, I'm gonna use acrylic with them so that you can see the pros and cons with each, or I can feel the pros and cons with each one, and I can give my honest review, because there's quite a few sets out there that, like I said, they're metal, but each one of the metal different sets are made a little bit different. They're just a little bit, there's just a small difference in them, but it's a difference that can mean a lot, and I wanna be able to let you guys know that, "Hey, this is a great set, $30. If you're looking to get a set, this is your set to get." Or, "Stay away from this set, it break easy," or whatever, you don't know, and those reviews that are on there, you can't take the Amazon reviews for what they are, because how many of them are bought? How many of them are paid for? So that way, you don't know if those are real reviews or not, and I wanna be able to give you guys real reviews, and so that way you can see, and they may have a set that you like, I know these blue sets are awesome. I mean, y'all see me use them all in almost every tutorial. I use them all the time. Um, Same with the silver sets. Like, right now, my holiday jamboree, I was using these sets, but I like these for in the round for some reason I just do. Well, that and the lights with the silver ones reflect, like, they're really reflecty, so I didn't want to, uh, have all that reflecting light going on when I'm turning them and doing all this. So I wanna be able to give you guys honest, reviews. There's wooden ones, there's metal ones. I need to find a decent 'cause I wanna look into the Denise set because 'cause I've never played with them. I know people have, and people like the Denise set, but, I think those are out of a lot of people's price range, in my opinion. I'm just trying to keep things budget friendly, and affordable. And then if I like them, I'll put the link, and the link will go to my, Amazon store page. So I would get a little bit of a kickback, but, it's me reviewing them. I won't now there'll be a few of the sets I would like to keep, but majority of the sets, I'll let them pile up, and then we'll do a members giveaway or something for 'em. And then there's also some beginner crochet kits I wanted to look at that have no reviews yet, and I wanted to play with those and see how beginner friendly they really are. Oh my gosh, this is slow. Oh, man. So how's everybody's week been so far? It's only Monday, and then next week is Thanksgiving week for the folks in the States. Oh my gosh, what did I do? Nothing. Oh, hi, Magic Frog, by the way. Been pretty productive today, huh? And then I'll also, once I get all this, awesome, Mona. It's been a great day. Once I get this done, it'll be a lot easier for me to write up the written pattern as well and get that out. I've still got to write up the, what's that thing? Stocking. Need to write the stocking pattern up. It's not that I keep forgetting. With this flare up that I'm in, it's just a little hard. Going good. Got a box of food to drop off for the, oh, that's awesome, Gina. Yeah, I finally got like around 4:30 this morning. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna, I was hurting. I was like, I need to go lay down. I need sleep. I cannot be up 48 hours. And I was still like, mainly the pain was what was keeping me up. It was keeping me second winded, I guess you could call it, where you get your second wind and then you can keep going. But I knew I needed sleep. And finally around 4:30, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go try and get some sleep. And then 5, panic rolled out of bed. And then I next thing I know, I'm waking up to because I set my alarm for 1:30 PM, and next thing I know, my alarm's going off at 1:30. I'm like, "Okay," and then I go to step out of bed, and my leg's on fire. Yeah, I totally understand, Gina, and I know on what day is that day? I'm looking at my calendar. Yeah, Thursday, Bag a Day is doing the auction. We have a Ruby's Dream in that auction. Hopefully, it brings in some money to help get food for the needy, those who actually need it and can help. And yeah. Hey, Manuela, sweetheart. Oh my gosh, I'm tangling my yarn again. Oh well. I'm gonna get a few more rounds on here and I'm gonna show y'all if y'all wanted to continue going off that on your own. So that way we're not sitting here for like a 5 hour live. I'll finish this round. Let me put a stitch marker so I can finish this round. It's right there. Oh, and I use stitch markers galore. I have a mess ton of colored ones, so I just put them all in these little containers, color coded, and they go for certain whatever project I'm working on, and I pick a color, that's the color that that entire project will be done with, and I need stitch markers, and I have a mess ton of stitch markers. 'Cause you never know when they're gonna break. I mean, they're cheaply made, so you never know when they're gonna break or, especially with Tunisian, you never know how many you're really gonna need, especially, when you're trying to keep yourself sidetracked off pain and you're putting all these different stitches into a project. That's I've been using them on, the holiday jamboree, which as soon as this gets done, I'll be going back to it and working on it more. I'll make this next round, and I keep tangling this up so I can show y'all how you'll make the split. Come on. I'm trying to untangle the yarn. Oh, come on, come on, come on. And then I'll do film the tutorial. I'll just film it from the beginning to end because that one I'll do on the tutorial, I will, um, do it for the, yeah, I'll have measurements and all that stuff. Y'all will probably Woo, okay, are we back? Do y'all see me? 'Cause we had a hiccup in the interwebs. Let me see something. Okay, good. Okay, good. I don't know what happened. Our interwebs decided to hiccup, and we've never had issues with this internet. We've been with our fiber for 5 years now and never had an issue. That's the first time. Wow. But, yeah, I used to, like Gina, I saw that you said you use safety pins. I used to use before I got all the stitch markers, I used to use paper clips. Just unfold half one of the arms and just that's what I used. It's always the pixies or the hamsters. The hamsters needed a break running the interwebs. Okay. But yeah, we never had issues ever since we switched to our fiber company 5 years ago, and yeah, the first 2 years we had to have we had the fiber and satellite, but we did away with the satellite after the 2-year contract was up because we don't watch a lot of TV. Everything we watch is streamed. So, okay, I'm almost back around, then I'm gonna show you how we'll make the keep twisting this wrong. That's what happens when I can't see. Um, I'm gonna show you how we'll, make the opening gap. Okay, we are at the round end. Okay, so let me slide it down. Give me just a moment. How was I gonna do this? Oh, so when you're ready to start making you're at your the height of your phone, and you want to make that extra inch, so you have that leeway. Then when you're doing this on the return pass, you're just gonna go ahead and go through all, because now we're gonna do something a little different. 'Cause you don't need your double-ended for this part. I have to make sure I'm in the right spot. Tighten that down, because the way we're gonna handle it is you're just gonna pull up. You got half, right? You have half. Let's just mark it. It's folded in half, and we're gonna mark it to right. Oh my gosh, right here. Just lay it flat. That's that's about half, right? We'll say it is. And what you'll do now, make sure you grab the right one, is just pull up regular simple stitches, and you're gonna work all the way to that stitch marker, and you'll be doing this on both sides. So you can create the gap. You'll just pull it up at that stitch marker and then just do a standard return pass, and you'll build up this way. So you're making a flap in essence, or a panel. You'll be making a panel, and you'll do this all the way up until you get 6, until you do another 6 inches, double your phone height. So you'll do, for me, it'd be another 6 inches of just back and forth, and you'll do it on this side. Oh, Michael, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, I messed that up big time, didn't I? And you'll just continue, like I said, build it up for 6 inches, and then when you're gonna stop, what you'll do is you will not do the normal bind off that we would do, because the normal bind off will close this off. We don't wanna close off our flap. So you'll just close off your flap like you normal just leave it open, but you'll get rid of your big tail and just put a knot there. And then we're gonna go to the other side. This is just a prototype, so we know what we're doing, right? Got the gist. I need to there. And then for the other side, you will just start where we put our stitch marker on this side is where you're gonna pull up the loop for this to do it on this side. And then you'll just do the exact same thing, make that flap. So we'll be pulling up our simple stitches until you get to where you inserted that where we started the last one. So we'll go in one more. You want it to go in, and we'll do our simple stitch and then do a standard return pass. and then you'll just continue build up this for that same height as you did the previous one, and you'll have your flaps, and they'll be pretty however long you wanted them. Average is gonna be double your phone your it's gonna be your phone, and then once that is done, then we'll do the close off as we did prior, where we're not gonna do the actual bind off. We're just when we get back to the I'm gonna do it here in just a second, and I'll show you again. And that's gonna allow us to join these 2 at the top and do them in the round because we need to do them in the round. I don't know what I did there. Oh, yeah, I do. I've got all that excess yarn that's bulking that up. There we go. And we're gonna take them back into the round again for the top portion, which should be roughly about 3 inches. You can make it 3 to 4 inches. Oh, how we're gonna join these 2 f are they the same height now? Yeah. Now how we're gonna join the 2 flaps, that is gonna be not tricky, but not easy. It you'll have to take your in the round again, and with the one that you didn't tie off yet, we're gonna go ahead and keep it going. So you're just going to continuously pull up your simple stitches as we have been doing, and then when you get to the side, the other flap, what you'll do is you'll just put your simple stitches into it. We need to discharge some simple stitches. So now we gotta come back in and add our in the round discharge. I don't like calling this process the return pass in a round simply because you're not returning anywhere. You're just still going forward. So I like to call it discharging, and we'll just do what we have been doing. It's when you do it round, you'll chain 1 and then yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 until you only have 3 loops left on your hook. And there is a lot of tells, but that's fine because you can weave those in, and since it's cotton, I think it's gonna give it a little bit more strength too. And then you'll just slide back to the other side when you get there and find my forward pass color. There we go. And just continue pulling up your loops for in the round. And you're joining the 2 flaps together, and that's how you join the 2 flaps, and then do that for 3 inches, and then you can sew it off or you can bind off, and bind off for in the round is done the exact same way as you would bind off for in regular, flat Tunisian stitch, and that will be I'll show you that here in just a moment, but the way we're joining these 2 together, you'll see how because you're joining them together, you'll have your slit. Now the slit will be a lot bigger than this, and it'll be on both sides. This is just to give y'all an idea of the slit and how you can do that, and you can continue just keep going up and up and up, and, you'll make your flaps, then you'll join them together in the round, and I'll stop here so we can do the how we're gonna do the close. What the my yarn got twisted, and it's confusing me. What happened there? Is it 2 different stitches? Oh, no. Okay. Woo. Um, and then to do a uh, close off in the round is done a little bit differently, but it's the same concept as with a flat piece of work. However, with in the round, we have been stopping 3 short. Well, we're gonna go all the way through because all you need now is just a regular needle. You'll be able to tie all these down, and you can just take your regular hook and then just do a simple stitch slip off. And to do a simple stitch slip off is just pull up a simple stitch. My gosh, man. Yeah. Pull up a simple stitch and then just slip it off. And you'll do that all the way around, and that's how you'll close this project out. And when you come back around to the side, you'll go just a few past, and then you'll just do a slip knot and maybe a couple of chains, just like that. Snip your yarn, weave in your ends, and then come down to the bottom, turn this all inside out, and then you just sew it. You could choose the method for sewing as you like because it's inside out. And then you'll go to the top and sew that top. So you'll have your pouch that'll have your phone in it, 6 inches or more. You'll have your slit, which is gonna be another 6 inches on both sides, and then your top, which will be 3 inches, and sewn off, and it'll give you a really good mimic of that iPhone pocket. I'm gonna go ahead and work on the actual tutorial, get that filmed out, and get that to you guys as fast as I can. I'm literally gonna be doing that here in a few minutes. Get it done and get it out. I just wanted to work this up with you guys, and that way y'all can get the idea and maybe even start it on your own. Thank you all for being here and watching. It means the world to me, and I love you all so very much. Thank you all for coming. Hope you have a great rest of your night, and I hope you have a great week. Until next time, folks, keep stitching. Love you, guy.